favor of nominating Helena Brontes as our next candidate and Danbury's next mayor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Seeing none, the motion carries. Helena.
Madam Secretary, members of the Town Committee, fellow Danburyans, Democrats, candidates, families, and friends. Thank you. Thank you, Eileen. Thank you, Sherry, for your support and your generous words tonight. I would like to thank all of you for giving me this opportunity to lead Danbury's Democratic team as we address the many issues of importance affecting our city today and in determining our city's future. Tonight, I submit to you that which most Danburyans know, that Danbury can do better, that Danbury can be better. Danbury and all her people deserve better, and I believe Danbury needs and deserves new leadership. This is why I proudly and humbly accept your nomination to be our party's candidate for mayor, to pave a new path of progress for Danbury. I am committed to the quest to return vision, hope, respect, and results in the governance of our beloved city. It is my hope and my intent to earn your support and that of the majority of the Danbury voters as we now officially begin the journey and our important work. Over the next 110 days, I pledge to work my hardest to be worthy of your vote and the voting of every voting citizen of our community as I seek the important office at this very important time in Danbury's history. Today, Danbury needs to pursue a new course. We cannot let any more precious years of this new century pass before we set a new path and correct the wrongs that we've been in the direction that we've been headed. All the people of Danbury need a new captain at the helm to steer our city to new horizons. Our quality of life and Danbury's future, stability and ability and strength, character and culture are at stake at this time. The Danbury difference, all that is good about our community, I say to you, is the result of years, in fact decades, of strong, effective democratic leadership, especially over the last half of the past century. This is the same brand of leadership that I and my administration will embrace and employ. My vision and path for our city adheres to the principles and the practices that brought Danbury to see her best days. Now, the priorities I place paramount are financial stability and economic security, education, public safety, proper planning for the movement of people, respect for community, respect for one another, and fortifying our environment and overall quality of life. Smart growth must be employed here. Our environment and future quality of life depend on a balanced approach in managing our community. As an example, one cannot openly and cozily invite development, then point the finger of blame elsewhere when someone complains and suggests that overdevelopment in our city is not his responsibility. The buck, after all, ultimately stops at the desk of the mayor of any city. And it should here in Danbury as well, make no mistake. Thousands of condos and apartments on the west side and several hundred of the same downtown have been approved for development on this mayor's watch. Balancing proper growth while protecting our neighborhoods and Danbury's physical character will be a hallmark of my administration. Snarled traffic and public safety concerns are among the problems that result from unbridled and uncontrolled growth. These issues serve as a further evidence that today there is a lack of vision, lack of plan, and lack of concern for the impact of our future. Working with transportation experts and traffic engineers, I plan to fully analyze traffic patterns, investigate alternatives, solicit public input, and propose major road improvements to enhance both vehicular and pedestrian movement within the key and problematic areas. I will be relentless in calling upon the state to do its part in addressing long-standing traffic problems on state roads in our city and tirelessly work to obtain funding for road, rail, and bus transportation projects. Traffic signals and controls will be evaluated to reduce or eliminate unnecessary idling time, which affects traffic flow and produces unwanted emissions. Traffic problems impede progress and stifle economy vitality. This issue is one of the city's major infrastructure challenges and requires an appropriate investment of resources to effectively address once properly planned. To ensure our city is kept at its safest for all people, I will add 24 new officers to our police force in my first 2 years in office. This will increase the department's organizational strength to its highest level ever. I will reestablish the once strong contingent of bicycle patrols to police center city areas and densely populated neighborhoods, expand community policing initiatives, and create a motorcycle traffic control unit. To further achieve a better balanced city, more open space must be preserved. Our water, air, and land must be protected. We must enact green principles and implement green practices to responsibly care for the precious planet and the precious place on earth that we call home. We owe this to our children and future generations yet to come, and we need an aggressive local plan to do our part. I will establish the Danbury Green Energy Initiative to add green spaces, cut costs, and reduce carbons for the betterment of our environment. We'll return to open space land acquisition levels of the previous Democratic administration. I'll propose expanding energy efficiency systems in public buildings and a campaign for residents and businesses to do the same, with possible incentives. We will further educate and enforce recycling to increase reusable and reduce solid waste disposal. We will reduce the number of city vehicles and convert 20% to hybrid or alternate fuel use in my first term. Conservationists, engineers, students, and seniors alike will assist in leading various components of this initiative. This Tree City, USA will evolve as a clean city and designation as an all-American city under our leadership. Friends, I am afraid we are losing our sense of financial balance here as well. The previous Democratic administration I was a part of handed the current administration the strongest financial condition in the city's history. Yet this administration, due to an over-reliance on bonding, has run up our credit card debt with reckless abandon and jeopardizing the stable property tax rate we worked so hard to achieve. Property taxes have been raised each of the past 5 years. Sewer and water rates and fees are for almost every purpose or municipal service has been dramatically increased as well. I'll work to restore stable property taxes, reduce water rates, and lower or remove onerous fees for certain services the public relies upon City Hall to provide. Proper economic growth and job development requires a stable tax policy. Yet the greatest investment we are called upon to make as a society and a community is in the education of our children, and I might add, adults and newer citizens alike. My sons and my family are proud products of our Danbury school system. My education plan, the Plan for Readiness and Improvement Now and for Tomorrow, known as PRINT, will be unveiled as my campaign progresses. This plan works with our schools to ensure every child has the opportunity to be prepared to succeed, as the Danbury schools prepared my son, myself, and my husband for the successes our family has enjoyed. We will refocus the efforts to continue to rebuild our downtown because our city center virtually has been abandoned by the current administration, and it looks it also. Hundreds and hundreds of housing units being overdeveloped are not the answer for sustaining downtown improvement and a thriving center for community life. Tax giveaways to developers for housing developments will end. Fairness to all Danbury tax-paying homeowners will prevail once again. And let me firmly state that, as your mayor, I will lead by adhering to both the spirit and the intent of the charter of our city, our Constitution, and the ordinances that govern us. We will return to a government of laws, not one of personal interpretation that benefits a mayor's political agenda. My passion and love of Danbury is great. It's my family's home. It's our collective home, our sense of community, of belonging, of embracing and celebrating our commonalities and our differences. This is what has made Danbury a great place to live, work, play, and grow a family throughout the course of its history. But rhetoric that serves to do nothing but pit people against people and nationally depict Danbury in a negative light for political purposes doesn't provide the leadership that instills hope and respect among one another as neighbors and Danburyans. This too will change. Productive, contributing, and law-abiding members of our community and society are always welcome. So together, with your unified help and support, we can make the Danbury difference, grow and flourish once again. The people of our city will see the difference our leadership can make for a better Danbury. I hope you will embrace our vision, feel renewed hope, a rekindled respect for community and for one another, and realize the deliverable results that our new paths and progress for Danbury will bring. Thank you, and God bless.
Okay, the video you just saw was actually Alina's nomination speech, and I would like to say thank you very much to Al Robinson, Hot City Blog, for sharing the clip with us, for us to actually see the entirety of her speech and who this woman is and what she's all about. And if you want to visit Hot City Blog, you can go to the website, www.hotcityblog.com. You will see more of Alina's speech and prior speeches she made. Now, we're going to actually get to the meat of this program. What I would like to do is pretty much sit back and allow Alina, who is running for mayor, to tell us what her platform is. We want to know exactly what she plans to do if she is elected for mayor. Miss Alina, could you please tell us what your platform is?
Okay, well, I think I have 6 points which I think are critical in the city. And those 6 points consist of the following. The first point would be the taxes, which impacts jobs, and it also impacts the economy in the city of Danbury. Second point that I think is very important and needs to be looked at is public safety. For the size of this city, we do not have sufficient public safety within the city, and due to its growth. Also, another important point is smart growth, the traffic, the overdevelopment. That all is one point. It all has to be looked at, and something has to be done so that that whole issue is assessed. Next point would be the environment. Conservation, open space, something that is very critical in our community today. We have very little space left. When I was on the council with the prior administration, Eileen was on the council with me at the time, the one thing that I was very proud to say is that we put over 100 acres of land into the Terry Wild Preservation issue there. Another thing which I think is very important is education. I have 2 children that went through the public school system. I went through the public school system, so did my husband. We all received a very good education in the school system. We have some outstanding teachers, and we have some amazing young people that go to those public schools and graduate from those schools, attending Harvard, Yale, your top Ivy League schools, and all other colleges within the United States and abroad also. Another point which I think is critical is downtown. We need to do something to attract businesses downtown, to make people want to go downtown, to bring back the vibration, the excitement, which you see in Bethel, which you see in Ridgefield, which you see in New Milford. We've lost that in Danbury, and it's something that truly has to be looked at. And when you see businesses like Goodfellow Ashmore leaving downtown, that's actually a sad situation, because it's an old business that's been down there for a long time, and you don't want to see businesses of that nature leaving and leaving an open hole in our city center. So let me just tell you a little bit about the public safety issue. Many years ago, when I was on the council and during the prior administration, we had bicycle cops downtown. Those bicycle police officers were amazing. They knew the business owners, they knew the people downtown, they knew the employees. People felt comfortable going downtown. They enjoyed the presence of the police officers. They weren't afraid. It was wonderful. Also, it changed the vision and the impact downtown as to how many people did go to the shopping centers and the stores and the little shops. And since they've been gone, the image of downtown has changed drastically. People are afraid to go downtown. I've talked to several business owners downtown, and the one complaint that they have is a lot of incidents that happen downtown. There's been muggings. There has been situations where the homeless are urinating in front of the businesses, and when they come in the morning, it all has to be cleaned up, and it's quite sad. Congestion downtown is terrible. You can't move. There isn't sufficient parking. And it's not just Main Street that we have to look at. We also have to look at all of the side roads, the area around there, because all of that impacts the stores and the businesses downtown. Also, one thing that I think is very important, and when Wayne Skelly was the zoning enforcement officer, the one thing he did was he went to those businesses. You need to clean up the windows. You cannot have as many things posted all over the windows, which changes the appearance of downtown, and they haven't done that in quite some time. You go through the businesses, I mean, literally, you're just inundated by everything that's on the windows. It's posters, it's signs, it's you name it, it's on the windows, and that needs to be changed, because also it changes the impact and the vision that people have towards that business, and they feel, I truly believe they feel more comfortable going into the business if that wasn't on the windows themselves. Another thing that I think is very important due to our traffic congestion in Danbury is I would like to initiate a motorcycle unit for the police department. It is very difficult, especially during times of rush hour, for the police department to get to accident scenes and to get to different locations where serious situations are occurring. And that is very critical, especially for the size of this city. And we have to do something to improve the movement of our officers within the city. They are vital, as the firemen are very vital to our community and to the survival of most of the residents as a form of protection and safety. Also, a very important thing is taxes. We have to start maintaining a stable and consistent property tax rate. It is very essential to maintaining a vibrant community and local economy. Stable property taxes help keep residents in Danbury. They help keep businesses in Danbury. If you have a stable tax rate, that business can hire more employees, can do more things for the betterment of our community. If you are constantly increasing their taxes, they are not going to stay in our community. And that was something that we were able to do under the prior administration with very, very stable taxes. Also, the increase in the sewer and the water rate. It impacts everyone tremendously. It's impacted me with property that I own. It impacts businesses. I know how much I pay for the sewer and water, and I know what the residents are paying, and it's very difficult for them to stay locally. Also, if you have stable taxes, it brings us a vibrant city. You have a city it's critical, and the businesses rely on this, and it is very, very important. And it also attracts new businesses to our city. So that's very important. When the prior administration left office, they left one of the strongest financial conditions in the city's history. Yet under this administration, due to the over-reliance on bonding, it has run up our credit card debt with reckless abandon and jeopardized the stable property tax we worked so hard to achieve, and that is critical. The current mayor has raised taxes each and every single year that he has been in office. He has significantly increased the water and sewer rates each year as well, and he has established new fees or dramatically increased the previous fees that we had for different functions throughout the city. I will reverse this policy and return to the hardworking, fiscally responsible government our citizens deserve. When I was a leader on the Common Council in the previous Democratic administration, we kept taxes down with several years of no tax increase, which is very important. Even reducing taxes one year, and we kept water rates at the same rate for over a decade. These are the same practices I will employ as mayor. A different issue that we need to talk about is the environment, conservation, and open space. To further achieve this, we have to balance the city a little better with open space. We have to preserve our water, our land, our air, and this all has to be protected. We must enact green principles, which I think are very important and which you heard on my speech. We have to implement green practices to responsibility and care for the precious place on earth that we have here. It's very important to me that my children have a healthy place to live one day in the future, and God willing, their children, my grandchildren, and so forth. And I think that's something that's very important to all of us that are here on this stage today. I will establish the Danbury Green Energy Initiative to add green spaces to cut costs and reduce carbons for the betterment of our environment. We'll return to open space as we had before. There is not much land left in this city for open space, but the small amount that we have, it's critical that we do maintain that property and preserve it so that we do have some beauty within the city. We need to acquire some of the pieces of property that are existing out there. One important thing, as Ken has worked tremendously and effortlessly, is the retention of some property off of Payden-Aram Road. And that property is wetlands, and it is critical. It's absolutely beautiful in that area over there. And if you do develop it, it impacts a lot of the residents at the bottom of the hill, which presently we have a serious problem with the bridge on Payden-Aram Road, which has consistent flooding. I know they went in and they did some repairs on the bridge, but the way the repairs were done, it did not improve the situation. It actually worsened the situation. And with development up in that area, it's going to cause more damage to that area there. We will further educate and enforce recycling to increase reusable and reduce solid waste disposal. We will reduce the number of city vehicles and convert 20% to hybrid or alternate fuel use in my first term. I think this is very important, especially with the cost of gasoline rising every single day. It is critical to the city to start making some changes and some improvements with regards to our environment. Conservationists, engineers, students, and seniors alike will assist in leading various components of this initiative. I want to make Danbury an all-American city. Under our leadership, I truly believe we can do that. I want to talk about education, but I really feel that we need to do this in another time, because I have met with a woman who was involved in a special program down in St. Petersburg, Florida. What that mayor has done to that community is just astounding, and I really want to talk a little bit more about that, and I'd like to talk to school administrators and just give them a little bit of information about this program. They have literally taken some of the burden of the costs of the school system and have employed the businesses locally to contribute tremendous amounts. They literally become sponsors of individual schools and help pay for some of the advancements, some of the programs within the school. And it's astounding. They've made a commitment. The businesses actually look bad at this point if they do not contribute to the education. Also, downtown. We really need to do something with downtown, as I had mentioned before. It is critical, and the one thing is we do need some new leadership. I am not a professional politician. I am a mother. I am a wife. I am a resident of Danbury. I am a volunteer. I am a business owner. I'm a paralegal as a profession. I am not out for special interests for anyone. For myself, this is what I want to do. I would love to be mayor of this city to make a difference, and I truly believe that I can make a difference in this city. I am not looking for any personal gain in this. As a resident, the one thing I would never do is go on public TV on CNN or bring up the issue that Mayor Boughton went about actually handling the issue the way Mayor Boughton handled that issue. I felt that was very harmful to the city because I do talk to people from other towns and other cities, and they do remark about that situation on CNN. Now, at one point he states in his City of the State address that Danbury is just wonderful. Everything is perfect. There's nothing wrong. Financially, we're so stable. But then you go on CNN and basically condemn us to the disaster of the city, the crime level, the impact that everybody is having on this community, and either it's one way or it's another. And I'm not, he's trying to position himself for another position in government, and I don't want to do that. I want to be mayor of the city and make a difference and help other people fall into the position of possibly running for mayor one day, because we have a lot of outstanding individuals in this community who one day will make phenomenal mayors or phenomenal individuals.
Wow, thank you. Wonderful speech. I don't want to cut you off because you're doing so well, but we have 3 minutes left, and I have 2 questions that I would love to ask you, okay? As you know, the population in Danbury, okay, we don't have a large number of Democrats, and we don't have a large number of Republicans. Most of the voters in Danbury are affiliates and independent. I would like to know, what are you going to do, okay, to get the independents to support you?
Well, first of all, I think it's very important that I get to meet a lot of the residents. I would love if they would like to organize a neighborhood coffee hour. We could sit together, I could talk to the neighbors, talk to them about their concerns. They can learn a little bit about me, and I'm sure a lot of the people in the neighborhoods with children have met me or know something about me through my involvement in so many activities within the city. And I enjoy questions, I enjoy meeting people, and I think it's important that they start to pay attention as to what's going on in the city and some of the things that need to change. Danbury was an absolutely beautiful city to live in.
Okay, we have about 1 minute. Real quick. Danbury will have a debate. It's usually at the...
Well, there's usually 2 of them.
Right.
The Chamber of Commerce hosts the forum,
right,
and we do normally a debate with the League of Women Voters and the Portuguese Cultural Center. They organize a debate at the center.
Okay, great. But most people in Danbury do not see these debates. What I would like to do is this. I am challenging you and Mayor Mark Boughton to come on this show to have a live debate and a dialogue with the resident of Danbury. All they have to do is turn to Channel 23 and they will hear everything. They will just, the 2 of you guys going at it. Now, real quick, is there anything you would like to say?
I would like
Ms.
to make
Eileen.
sure everybody gets out to vote this year. I think it's a very important year for Danbury. I think it's a very exciting year for Danbury, and we're ready to work very hard. If you want to see more about the candidates, the Danbury Democrats website is www.danburydemocrats.net, and I've also got my own, voteeileen.com.
Okay, great. Real quick, before I let Tim talk, next week we're going to have someone come in to educate us about the new voting machines. The machines will be here. They will have absentee ballot. You will get a good education about how you're going to be able to vote. Ken, is there anything you would like to say?
Nope, just get out there, show your support, and let's get a change in the city, and let's get things back where they belong.
Okay, Miss Selena, thank you very much. Ali, thank you very much. Ken, thank you very much. And I am inviting the Republicans to come on the show to do exactly the same thing that we are doing here. So I'm waiting for their calls, and please come. And I'm inviting the Mayor Mark Boughton and Alina to come and have a live debate right here on Ideas Outward and Beyond. Thank you. Have a good day.
Hanging in the sky.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, intoxicated by the sweet summer scent floating through the night. A nocturnal symphony sings out to me. Why not take a chance, find some